Good morning, everybody. It is the 21st of May, Thursday. We got a bunch of things to talk about today. We'll get into that later in the stream. Having a couple of the gears are turning. Having a couple of ideas. Want to know what you guys think? But first, let's go into our little recap. Man, I'm getting a lot of echo in the room again today. I don't know what the deal is. Something's changed. Maybe I'm just louder. Anyways, coming over to the charts, sentiment was a little bit weaker overnight, but nothing too serious. Oh my, are we not? Am I not on the right workspace? Where's the chart that I really care about? Huh? Where's my? There it is. Okay. So sentiment a little bit weaker overnight. You can see here. Of course, really, to understand where we're at, we have to go back all the way to the beginning of the week. We started out with a really good move up, and then we kind of came down. There was a little bit of a drop at the close of the session on Tuesday, but then Wednesday night, they kind of, recovered that. And then during the day, they said they don't really care. But then they weren't able to hold the highs of the day. It was just kind of like an okay day. They came back a little bit. And then here overnight, slightly weaker sentiment. When I'm looking around the news, the things that I'm seeing, there's a little bit of discussion about trade war. Donald Trump is still talking a little, what is the heated rhetoric against China. Investors still, I'm not so sure that they think it's a really big deal or not. But one thing that I am seeing around there that is concerning is reports that the discussion between representatives has ceased or has cooled down. So that is concerning. But overall, not too much movement. And we actually have news today. So we've got Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and continuing jobless claims. So for today, the plan is going to be to, that's really going to dominate where we go from here. We'll see how that affects things. Manufacturing index, the estimate is negative 41.5 with a previous reading of 56.6. Treasuries, big piece of news yesterday, 20-year bond coming out. Auction did quite well. Treasuries moved up quite a bit. Kind of screwed up on that one yesterday because really didn't completely understand the action there because I completely forgot that they were doing that. Anyways, they were up a little bit and look, they're up further, but they're still not recovering the levels that they got from the beginning of the week when things just like really fell down. So we'll see how that goes. Oil continues to move higher up to 34. Hey, remember when we were at 12? Oh my. Gold have seen a little bit of a rally overnight. It's kind of interesting that I was seeing some of the gold bugs were, talking like they were expecting big stuff to happen. But I don't know. That kind of fizzled out. But, maybe something cool will happen today. Just minimize that. We didn't need that. All right. So, well, I don't see anything too huge on the open, but there is some iceberging happening at O2 in the 10-year. And it looks like my micros are screwed up. What the heck? Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Yes. And the session should be CME indices. There we go. Mucho better. Cool. All right, and they tick up at O2. Where are we at down here? Oh, this is not the right workspace. That's what's going on here. I want this one. Now it's going to take forever to load up. I tell you what, guys, it'll be nice to have some economic news to trade off of today. But I'm kind of guessing that the market's just going to ignore whatever it says like they've been doing for the past 3 months. You know what I mean? There we go. That's much better. Okay. Now, because we did that, we got these other workspaces in the background. We just got to close these. Zero to Hero Trader, are you paper trading or are you trading on a live account? So I will switch back and forth between them. Right now I am on a paper account primarily because we're heading into the summer months, and the summer months are usually not kind to me. They're usually not kind to most retail investors. It's just much choppier. There's a lot less opportunities. So I trade at Sim in the summer. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it's a recommendation I would think about. I also tend to move over to Sim when markets get a little bit too wild. So it's you know, I don't want to risk my capital for no reason. You know what I mean? Like I really got to see something that I know is favorable to me if I'm going to take a trade. So yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, it's I totally understand. Yeah, I kind of, because it goes back and forth, and I know there's a kind of like a thing in the community around it. So I try to be really clear about it, but I kind of play with you guys a little bit because when I switch to basically the way that I do it is like assume that I'm trading sim, and then sometimes I'll trade live and I won't tell you, but somehow you can tell I'm more serious. I don't know. Anyways, is what it is. Let's see here. Do we close that one? And let's close this one. That will free up some memory. No. Okay. Yeah, it's easy. I just started using Ninja so I can tell between a sim and a real account. Well, it's not that. So like when I come in here, I can switch between them. Like it has the account here at the top of my little control that I hide behind me so that you can't see it, because otherwise it might show numbers that would be bad for you to see. So like I can switch it. So like here I'm switching it. Here's my live account. Now it's the live account. The DOM doesn't change, right? But you could see if I put an it might be early, so it might not let me put one on here. No, I don't want to put one on within 8 with it moving like that, but I can put one in there. Oh yeah, it will let me. Let's see if I put one right there. Yep. Changes to 59, changes to 58. So, but right now I really feel that I should keep it in sim, because I tell you what, May in particular, I've had bad experiences in May. What was it? 2 years ago? 2 years ago, man, I was doing so well. I tell you what, I was really thought I had it all figured out. I don't want to say that I thought I had it all figured out. I mean, I'm not that egotistical, but like I was pretty proud of myself. I had a run of several months and I was doing well, and I was picking up some big wins too. And then May came along, and it was like the market just completely changes. It was like it was all of a sudden I went from winning like almost every time to losing literally every time. Really kind of, yeah. What is your trading style? Sorry, wait, hold on. I should turn on the text to speech so it will read it out to me. So I am reading the tape. Are you doing scalps or big moves intraday? Well, I've been experimenting with a lot of different things, because one of the things is that I normally trade the treasury. So I'm very much reading the DOM, looking at the numbers, kind of looking for where the volume is. Although right now I'm kind of trying to avoid where the big volume is, right? I don't think I want to trade this area right here, because there's this big guy at 02 starting out right at the beginning, and I'm not quite sure what he wants to do. But we got some news coming up in like a minute 30, don't we? But I am of the opinion that technical analysis has a limited ability to predict the future. I'm using technical analysis more as a way to refine entries, because there are statistical properties about the market that you can pull out and are useful. So I'm more trying to make a read on what the sentiment is, and I scalp mostly, like 4 ticks in the treasuries when I'm doing well. 2 to 4 ticks in the treasuries seems to work. Sometimes I'll catch an 8 ticker, and those are great. Over in the E-mini, I've been experimenting around with a lot of stuff, but I haven't really been able to find. I've had some success with the E-mini. Like I had a period of a month or two where I made a couple $100 on the micros, but then the market's kind of shifted, and that didn't work as well. Maybe in September we might be able to try that style again. That was really a scalp. That was like just 2 points in the E-mini, which worked great though. 2 points in the E-mini is all you need, really. Okay, so let's see here. Here comes the news. Let me turn on a tick in the treasury is $15. Okay, so here comes the news. Boom. Okay. So treasury's ticked up. Waiting on the number. Continuing jobless claims 25,000 versus 24.7 million. Sorry. So continuing jobless claims a little bit worse than expected. Initial jobless claims 2438 versus 2400. So the initial jobless claims about in line with what we were expecting. So people are not coming off of the payrolls quite as fast as they expected. I'm still waiting for the Philly number here. The E-mini did sell, but just that. Okay. Okay, negative 43 spot 1 versus an expected 41 spot 5. So I would say not too bad. Based on the numbers, the market profile. So right, Kevin? The way that the news moved, I'm kind of tempted to come in and short it, but I don't think that we really got a trade here. I don't see the market didn't seem to care. I'm too concerned that buy the dip just comes back in today. So I'll tell you what, Zero. I will let's kind of try and get you up to speed with Ninja, huh? Since we got the opportunity, we should totally take advantage of it. So this is the volume. This is my volume profile. This is so I think that's what you're talking about, right? And you can add these to any chart. And let me just show you a couple of little tricks with it. So first thing is when you come into here, order flow volume profile, there's some different modes. So like I have it profile period sessions, right? But you can change it to be for each bar, or you can choose a composite one. So a composite one would be like, I want to show the profile for the day over to the right, and it's always there. So that's really useful over there. And you come in and change the colors and things like that. Also, down in here, something that is useful is they have these lines. So like extended naked point of control, that's a line that I have on. So you can kind of see these golden rod lines that are coming off from previous days. I find those to be really, really useful because it's like that was an area where buyers and sellers agreed on price and that we have moved away from and haven't revisited. So if we start doing a move down, like let's say that the E-mini like really decided to sell, here is an area where maybe we would revisit. So that's one of the reasons that I like to see those, because I'm kind of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, okay, this piece of news has come out. It's changing market sentiment. It should cause a big move. Where would be fair value, or where would people start to see fair value at? And so I could use that as a target. Yeah. So that's kind of how I use it. But I also come in and use it like on these DOMs over here. And this is kind of still a work in progress, but one of the things is that I'm not necessarily looking to engage with the large trades. So like if I come in and I can see that there's a really big iceberg in a spot, especially in the treasury market, let's say, because I think the treasury market is where only where the order flow is really going to end up mattering. So if I see an iceberg somewhere, why? I don't really know. Is he entering a trade? Is he exiting a trade? Because like maybe that guy is exiting a trade, a losing trade. Let's say. Do you really want to follow him? Because if he's buying up there at maybe he's buying into '04, right? Maybe we see a lot of buying into '04, and we say, okay, this guy he's stopping out. He has to buy because he was short. Do you really want to? Do you really want to take that as a continuation? It's kind of you don't know, and so it's probably better to avoid those areas. Like if it's an area where I don't really understand what's going on. So when I look at the volume profile, what it tells me is, okay, overnight most of the business happened at '04. So if I wanted to go short, I have a chance of getting filled at '04 half. I have a significantly less chance at getting filled at '05 based on past history. If they start hitting into '05 aggressively, then that tells me something has changed. If they shy away from it, and I really think that the sentiment is going to be treasuries are going to move down based on the fundamentals, then that's a great place for me to get in. That's kind of the price that's difficult to get. And you can see right there, they ticked back down 03 half. So that's how I try and play it. Or that's current working stuff, I guess you could say. I will also look at other things. Like I have a lot of let's call them technical analysis indicators put up. But really what I'm trying to do is trying to judge where. Oh yeah, absolutely. I try to be really, really available. So, and I got to tell you, there's way better traders in the Discord than myself. So, look at what people are saying in the channels. Put your own trades out there. And okay, do you see that last little move up there to 58? Come on. I don't see anything driving it per se. Probably some guys stopping out. Let's come through here. I do see, okay, the dollar dropping a little bit here. No, my dollar is not updating. There's something wrong with that chart. I might have to restart NinjaTrader. What about, and gold is coming up a little bit. Gold is moving up, 6J is moving up, 6E is moving up. Dollar overall is moving down. Treasuries are moving down slightly. Equities are moving up. So it looks like we're getting a dollar weakness rally coming in here. That was a pretty good rush. Yeah, we're gonna have to close this. Excuse me for a second. Let's say yes. Starbucks Corporation in China, we have seen progress as well as our corporate store comparable store sales have reached about 8% of prior year levels. 80%. Okay, so I think the reality is that they are recovering much faster than expected. Look at that. I closed Ninja Trader down and it's not dying. So it's definitely hung on something, which is unusual. I mean, Ninja Trader used to do this all the time, but oh, I thank you very much. So you know what, Ian? I have a video on the channel that is like, what is the best software trading? Um, sorry, futures trading software platform. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. I have a video called "What is the best futures trading software platform?" and in there I have an affiliate link for Jigsaw. So if you use that affiliate link, it helps the channel out a lot. Up to you. If you had another, Jigsaw has like a little referral friend program. So if you have a friend that uses Jigsaw and you use, they can send you an email invite too, and you can help them out and do it that way. But if you don't, and you use our channel's affiliate link, it helps the channel out. So up to you. But I do think I gotta say, like, there are some cool things about Bookmap. Like, I think that Bookmap kind of like they're a little bit like me. Yeah. Okay. Good question. So the way that it works, and did you just buy Ninja? I'm assuming that you just recently got a Ninja lifetime license. So the way that I have it set up is that I use my Ninja Trader data, and then there is a plugin that will send the data over to Jigsaw. And the way that that works is it's basically sharing memory. So there's a little bit of a delay, but it's like literally like, you know, 5 milliseconds or something like that. Like it's barely, even in video with going through it frame by frame, it's really difficult to see a difference. Anyways, so that's the way that you would set it up. So if you are using Ninja Trader and you're a new Ninja Trader customer, usually the best way to do that is to just use Ninja Trader brokerage. Like, they're really trying to get people over to Ninja Trader brokerage. Like, if you want to use CQG or Rhythmic, you have to be grandfathered in most cases, especially with Rhythmic, I believe. Anyways, but like, the Kinetic is theirs, and that's a rebrand of a is it IQ. Anyways, doesn't matter. So what you would do is probably what you do is go with the Ninja Trader brokerage and use their data feed, and then use the Jigsaw bridge to get your data over to the DOMs, like I'm doing. And just to show you how that works. Yeah, this did not load up correctly, but I won't worry about that yet. Where did it go? The way that I do that is I have a market analyzer here, and I add in the columns, I add I add a indicator, and it's this JT connection thing here. And then when you come over into Jigsaw, you come over to the platform section, and all of the symbols that you had coming over from Ninja Trader show up there, and that's how we do it. So you do it that way because the CME is kind of getting stingy with data. So like they're saying that if you have multiple connections to market data, that you're a professional and have to pay a professional fee. So we do it that way so that you're only using one data feed. If that makes sense. No, this is wrong. Workspaces. Oh, of course. It killed. it killed the workspace. Of course. This has happened to me a couple of times. I think it's a new bug they've introduced. But we can fix it. We can rebuild him. Let's see here. Recovery, internals. Yesterday, perfect. Thank you. That's what I'm here for. Oh, thanks. I got to tell you, like, when I look at where I'm at, because I often, you know, you don't always have success in trading. And I always feel like, okay, like here's all futures traders, and here is like this echelon of futures traders that are like always consistently profitable. And then I'm like, somewhere right here. So it's like I know enough to help everybody that's getting new, especially when it comes to the technical stuff, because I'm just a total computer geek. Um, but then there are so many other things just about the way that the market works. So let me give you an example. Yesterday, there was a bond auction for a 20-year bond auction, and I knew that that was happening, but I had forgotten, and it wasn't on any of my economic release calendars. So I'm sitting here wondering why is there so much activity in the bonds so early today? And it was because there was a 20-year bond auction, and I had completely spaced it. Or like another one that I learned yesterday was because I used to listen to a news squawk. Hold on. I tried a news squawk trial once, and I remember they were talking about like, okay, these guys, they're doing a deal. They're going to be this corporation is going to do a bond sale. And I'm like, okay, so why does that matter to me? Well, it turns out if you're going to if you're going to offer bonds, what happens if the Federal Reserve changes the interest rate? So what they do is they come over and they sell the futures so that they're hedged against the interest rate changing when they offer their bond. So then you can go in and you can say, oh, well, they've been selling it. It must be because of these guys doing this sell. So maybe I want to buy it here because that sell side demand was temporary. It's things like that, And I tell you what, it's always the smallest things. Like everybody thinks that there's going to be some huge revelation that gets you to profitable, but it's not like that. It's just tiny little things that you're only going to figure out if you come in and you work hard and you try hard every day. So I appreciate being called a hero, but sometimes I feel really inadequate. Oh man. Okay, Forex Live tweets, I don't even know what ADP is thinking releasing numbers that are so far from the obvious reality. Okay. Where are they getting that from? Oh, is Chairman Powell speaking at a conference today? Due to deliver opening remarks at the Fed Listens event on COVID-19 via satellite. Okay, so we do have a little bit more news today. In about an hour, we got flash manufacturing PMI. There's also natural gas storage, CB leading index, and existing home sales. Okay, now we're good. So good, but man, I'm having like a hiccup problems today or something. I am still seeing some dollar weakness. Strong dollar weakness seems to be the thing right now. And that strong move up in the equities kind of continued through a little bit. So I think I'm going to carefully monitor here how much they actually trade. Okay, so you want to use both the DOM, well, sorry, limit orders and market orders. They're two sides of the same equation, really, right? Like when you think about it, a market order is an order that is hitting now, and a limit order is an order is an order that has to be filled. So they're, a limit order is potential volume, I guess you could say, right? But of course, there's, they can pull limit orders, so that kind of makes that part a little bit difficult. So when you're watching the DOM, the thing that I really pay attention to more than anything else, because I know everybody always thinks about like the iceberg. So I want to see an iceberg. This is why one of the reasons why when you hear Peter Davies respond to the Vista chart, and it's not as colorful as the book map chart, it's because he knows that there's limited utility in where the icebergs are. The thing that you're really going to want to look at is when the market orders are able to push through the limit orders really easy, or like the limit orders are pulling out of the way. So this is where it gets into like, they've been hitting into 04. They come back up. They hit into 04. There's a ton there. They come back up. They hit into 04. And then this time, when they trade back down into it, it ticks down on only 800 orders. And then there's a strong offer. Something has changed now, right? The supply, the buy side supply at that location is not there anymore. The buyer's not there anymore. The bid has moved down, and so there's a good chance that they're going to continue moving down until they find a bid. Right? So you have to look at both. Now, in terms of looking at the DOM and the footprint, so for instance, I have a footprint pulled up over here right now. Right? But you notice that I'm using a 60-minute footprint, right? Because I really want to know, when an area traded through, what really happened there. So I'm seeing it that at 29.60 they're trading about 2,000 on each side at multiple prices, which is about what it's been doing in other places throughout the night. So there's a good chance that was that move for now. And so I'm going to wait. I'm not going to make a trade right now. If that makes sense. So use the footprint for higher time frame stuff, because what can happen is you're watching the DOM and you see, okay, there's absorption here, but then like it moves away and it comes back 10 minutes later and you kind of don't remember or aggregate that all out. And then you go back and you look at the footprint and you see, okay, they really absorbed a lot. Yeah, I do have it. Ooh, okay. I do have it highlight the buy sell imbalances. Like you can see at the bottom of every candle, there's like a little purple magenta number there to show that, okay, buyers were hitting into those prices, but they weren't able to move price. And that's what's happened. That's what's been happening a lot in the equities, is all of these guys are trying to sell at the bottom, but then they don't break price at all. And it moves back up magically. They just keep going up and up and up. Well, we're not necessarily looking to be the most popular channel. The thing is that YouTube. Oh, there you go. I mean, this maybe this is just an excuse that I'm making in my head. Like, let's be honest with ourselves there on this. But when I think about that, I'm not necessarily looking to be the most popular thing. Like if thousands of people were watching me, that kind of makes it harder to trade. Like there's advantages and disadvantages of it, right? The advantage is everybody's watching what you're doing, but the disadvantage is everybody's watching what you're doing, right? I try to trade. I assume that everybody's watching what I'm doing, and you should too. I think, in my opinion, is that you should act like that the market is watching you and knows what you're doing, and only make trades in places where you really have an edge, and but also because then you take it from the mentality of acting on the market, because so often we are just reacting to the market. And what we really should be doing is we should be saying, okay, here is the situation, here's how the market is positioned, here's how the news is and the sentiment is, and this is what I think the market should be doing. And so I'm going to make the market. We're market makers, not market reactors, right? Um, so I try to assume, but it's not a huge deal that there's not a ton of people. Now, I kind of want to do some other things. So I think that we might be switching the channel up a little bit. Like I'm thinking about doing like a daily recap and focusing a little bit more on news, because those are the things that I think really are really going to help you. So like number one thing is like get your execution down, right? Learn, do the exercises. Like if you Jigsaw has videos, and when you buy it, they have like a free course that they give you with it when you buy it too, that you can watch down through, and they have like exercises where they say, okay, you know, just try and get a tick or things, like do those exercises, because that's your execution edge, right? But once you've refined those skills down, I think that we often have a tendency to go into technical analysis, or to try and turn Dom trading into technical analysis. And I really think the thing that is going to help traders the most is to then learn about your market. Things that, any information about your market that is not market generated information. Like, for instance, that there was a 20-year auction yesterday, right? That's not market generated information. That came from outside of the market. Those are the things that I think people should focus on. So I'm thinking about gearing the channel up a little bit different. Because the thing is YouTube is really clickbaity. You know what I mean? Like, if you go and you look at the channels that are really popular, what are they? And they're like, oh, look, I made $10,000 in 5 minutes based on X, And when I look at that, I'm like, well, that's not the kind of community that I want to attract, right? Because what we're trying to do requires a lot of dedication. And if you're attracting people that just want a quick buck, you're not going to get the right kind of community. So that's my excuse for why it's not big. Ian says incredibly clickbaity. It really is. But there are some things that I would like to do that, like I want to grow the channel, and I'm having some ideas this morning about some places that we could take the channel, that we could grow subscribers and improve advertising conversion rates that we could then reinvest back into the stream. So I'm thinking like, oh man, by the way, the E-mini really came back there, and now kind of threatening the low, but the treasuries aren't really reacting the same. And in fact, I'm having a hard time telling which way the book is set up in the 10-year to know which way it's going to go. So I kind of still have to sit here. But something seems to be happening. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so I was thinking that we could do, like, at the end of the day, we could do a stream that would be more of a news recap. So it would be like, here's the news story, here's the reaction that we saw, and then I could go through the political analysis, and we could go through the community stuff, and it would be like me talking as fast as I can to go through the markets, so that to get us more focused on news and to improve our news edge. And then, we could take anything that we make off of that and reinvest it back into the stream. So we could use it to improve the news sources that we're getting, so that we get better news. And I think everybody in the community would benefit from that, right? We can we could get like a screen so that I could like stand next to charts and show you guys stuff. Right, because all of the channels that I've seen out there are technical analysis. Hey, look at the great trade that I made. And I think it's time maybe we start thinking about the next step. The reason I was thinking about it was because I was looking into Rand Squawk and was like, you know, I don't like to put on a financial obligation that puts the business overall negative, I guess. Like I want to say, okay, like we make X amount from the YouTube and then we can use that, reinvest it back into the channel and we can start paying for services. Actually, I think, hold on. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, so they actually did. So I was talking to the News Squawk guys. So he was saying $250 a month, 15% discount for annual upfront payment, and there are discounts for volume purchases. So we should see if anybody wants to join up together and get a News Squawk subscription with me. Well, thanks. I'm probably like the only person really streaming on YouTube at this time of day. It's super early for most people. Well, I guess it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, but you know, over in California, and none of those guys are even awake yet. So maybe we could get some people to go in for volume discounts, but that's where it's like if we started doing another stream, I think that we probably could start doing that, and that would give us a much better handle on what's moving the markets. Because there's definitely some information, like for instance, news about potential um, bond offerings from corporations that I just don't get, that I just don't know right now. You know, let's see here. I'm getting a bunch of stuff here. Oh, okay. 0 to Hero did message me. Somebody asking me about an indicator that I made for him really quick. I'll do that after the stream, though. We just made this little indicator that would tell you, if you had gotten in 15 bars ago, long, how much would you have made? And I think that he believes there's some statistical analysis that he can do off of that, but well, we'll see. We'll see where we go. Okay, so since they were kind of like really, like honestly, when they were at the bottom there, they really were like, hey, maybe we're gonna come all the way back, but no, they're bouncing there a little bit. Right at the top of the hour. Where are we compared to? Okay, zoom in here. All right, so there is this little bit of a node here, 26, and yesterday it was 67, and I'm getting a ding. Shouldn't be getting that actually. Do I? I do. Have the other workspace open. Okay. But I can see why it made that ding, but that's not what we want to do. Okay. So they did end up pushing down. Oh, so he's saying that he uh, extended our subscription for a week. So I wonder, can I? Well, I don't want to be like, um, oh, I hear the thing on the news and then I click first. That's not where I'm trying to go. But like for instance, 2 days ago, when the news hit the wire that um, there was uh, some people were questioning the data that came out on that vaccine. Remember that? I mean, really, the kind of the dominant, the big weird news story of the week. And there was that rush down. Okay, so you're gonna miss that probably. But then what happened? It pulled back and it kind of sat there for a while, and a lot of people were wondering, okay, is it going to stay here or are they going to go lower or what's going to happen? And at that point, I think that you could have very easily have made the calculation and picked a spot and gone short into the close and made a good 20 points off of that. And so those are the kind of moves that I want to make because I feel that you're going to have a really hard time generating the kind of consistency that I really want to see just from technical analysis. And I feel like when I'm looking at the DOM and like I see an iceberg here or I see this happen to level 2 here, I view that as technical analysis. Like if I'm making a judgment based purely on information provided to me from the market, which is things about price, volume, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I don't think that that's going to be as effective as going off of information outside of the market. What is the news? What is driving people right now? They came down there really, 2 ticks and then back up 2 ticks really quickly. So they're kind of wobbling the treasuries around. It kind of seems like somebody maybe wants to make a move, but they're not ready to do it. I would try and come in and take a trade, like maybe trying to buy it here around the top of the hour. But the way that they're behaving right now seems to suggest that they're not going to do it. Uh, but I do think I want to get long here. Hmm. I'm still not seeing the situation that I want to see to be doing anything like that. So I'm gonna uh, sit on my hands for a little bit longer. We don't want to wait for other people, but we've got to make sure that we're actually seeing something that we can trade off of. So, but let's watch this closely here now. So if they got their thing on here, I might need to. Um, oh, I do. I do have it on. Will it reach over there? Well, I can't hear myself anymore, but that's okay. Let's see if I can make this work so I can listen to this walk. While we're waiting on them. Oh, is it not on? Hold on. There we go. So now Aha. Headphone. So let's hear if I click this to read this. Sweet. Let's see here. Actually, the way that no, it should be. Ooh, how do we do this? So I when I just read it out, you probably couldn't hear it there, could you? Messing with our audio. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. So, can I? Ooh, I can. I think I can. No, maybe I can't. Uh-huh. Okay, so what if I do this? Come to sound. Make this one be the main. Okay. And then I make it come over here. It's not coming up now. Probably super boring watching me. There's a way to do it. I think that where did I send it to? I want to open it up for that one, but it won't let me. So, well, there it is. See, it's not. It's showing up. Lame. Okay. Oh, we won't worry about it then. Have to mess with it off stream. See if I can get it set up so that I can listen to the squawk, but not, get on their bad site. Where did my ZN go here? So there's this weird bug where oh, there it is. Sometimes like Windows will disappear on you. Like it's still there, but it doesn't show up in the taskbar. But I don't think that's what was going on. Okay, cool. And this turn. And oh, I didn't. I think what happened was I closed these. Yeah. Ew. Ew, that would have been bad. not that one. There we go. Oh, I can't hear it because I changed the sound setting. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Bot says hand waving good morning.
there we go. Wait, were you muted? Yeah, man. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. So before you came in, John, um I was looking into doing the new squawk thing again, and they had sent me a thing in, but I to be able to listen to it, I'd have to do all sorts of funky stuff to my sound that apparently is more complicated than what I can do at the moment. So I have to do it tomorrow. But we were talking about maybe doing like an end of day recap sort of a thing to try and get the channel a little bit more focused on news and analysis. Okay. Hmm.
Bot says do you have a tablet you could put the squawk on?
Yeah, I could do it that way too. No, you know what it is so I have like my mixer, and my mixer has two channels built into it. So what I would have to do is make it so that the main sound is coming out of the excuse me. The main sound is coming out of the speaker one, and then I need to make it so that the uh so that Firefox or whatever it is coming out of the other one. So it was coming into here into the volume mixer, and I was clicking on this to see if I could switch which one it used, but it's like the little window. I had the window came up, and then I'm like, okay, I think that's where I want it, but let me explore these other things, and then when I came back, it won't show up again. So I'm gonna have to do it off stream, I think. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, the treasures are still ticking around, actually. There's actually a reasonable amount of noise over there in the tenure today. I'm still not quite sure which way. I suspect that they want to move up, but it looks like you're getting some spreading stuff going on with the 10 again, where the 10 is the opposite way from the others.
Guido Sledden says had flash manufacturing PMI 15 minutes in the open been a big volatility item?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's usually not as big as the 6:30 news. Sorry, the 8:30 Eastern time news. The thing is that the you know the what was it that we had? We had Philly Fed and the jobless claims numbers, And I mean, the market moved a little bit on it, but it was pretty lackluster. It really seems to me that the E-mini in particular is not that concerned about economic news right now. And I guess in a sense it kind of makes sense because like doesn't matter what the manufacturing PMI number says, they're not going to change the interest rates in the treasuries. So the financial environment is pretty much set in stone. Like the market can bet on that one. So the only news that really ends up mattering is something that tells us that we're not going to recover as quickly as we think we are. So probably like company earnings probably matter more. That's my guess. And the PMI isn't the PMI market composite PMI. Let's read up on that because I'm not as familiar with that number. Um, Level of diffusion index based on surveying purchasing managers / services. I mean, it is something that we should be looking. It is something we should pay attention to for sure. But I don't know how big of an impact it's going to have. Hmm. Somebody was saying that my accounts were showing in Ninja, but I'm not sure where he's seeing that because the only place that you're gonna see that is in my control panel here, like there. But then, yeah, I don't know. And then when you come into the MES, or sorry, in Jigsaw, there's a bunch of different accounts because they have like 3 sim accounts in there. So you should see 4. Okay, so a little bit of volume going in there. Oh, 3.5 again. I can see the book in the 5-year has that somebody did some stacking there that I'm not necessarily seeing in the other instruments, by the way. Should be careful about if they plow through those prices. Oh.
Ian McCormick says, where is the affiliate link for Jigsaw? Thanks.
It was here. I'll just go and find it for you. Because it's attached to a video. Maybe I should just put it in a better spot. But over here. No, did not copy that correctly.
I'm about to show you the quickest and easiest way.
No. Stop that. Oh man, why is it that's annoying. Okay, hold on. There's a better way to do this. And YouTube like URL shortens all of its links, so it's hard for me to copy and paste it from that place. So we'll do it with this one right here. There we go. That's the link right there.
Speculator Seth Day Trading says.
Okay, so they did hit into it in the 5-year, and it looks like it pulled. I wonder if the treasuries are in for another big dump like the other day. Now let's see here. I am seeing some changes in the currency markets. Dollar took a little bit of a bounce there. Interestingly, not.
Ian McCormick says
Affecting the
IYO,
E-mini
is the
too much?
advanced training course worth the extra $300? Is that Axia Futures that does the training?
So I don't know. I haven't used it. So I kind of have a mixed feelings on education, because the honest truth is I think that most education courses are overpriced, but they can charge people that much for it because they don't have to sell a lot of them for starters. And if it works, then you can make a lot of money on it. But the problem is that trading is a competitive sport, is the way that I think you should look at it. So education can help, but there's no guarantee that it's going to make you a good trader. You know what I mean? So my recommendation is first of all, look to the market as your teacher. Watch the markets, see what they do, and really follow the markets and learn and keep really good notes about what happens and use that to train yourself. And then if you come in and you're like really, really struggling still, and you feel like you don't understand what you're looking at and that sort of a thing, that's when, maybe you think about getting education. Now, that said, my understanding on the Jigsaw education is that it is Axia that does it. And especially the really nice one. So, and there was like this, so like for instance, there's an interview. You should go watch it. It's on the Jigsaw YouTube channel where they interview one of their traders that's had some success recently.
Ian McCormick says your honesty is appreciated.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, it's just I just don't want I just don't want to lead people down a false path, thinking that if I take this, that's what's going to make me profitable. It doesn't work like that. Anyways, So this guy, he had taken the advanced course or whatever it was, and he was thinking, should I take the advanced course? So there's another one that's like really expensive. That's supposed to be like, if you are, that's supposed to be the level of training that you would get if you worked for a prop firm or something like that, right? And because the guy, he said he was struggling, and so he asked Pete, "Oh, should I take that?" And Peter Davies said, "No, I think that you seem to understand what's going on really well, and all you need to do is just practice and work at it and work out your kinks, and you already know everything that you need to know to be successful." So the guy, he did that, and he made some good profits. I'm sure that it's one of those things where sometimes you can have a good 3 months and then it kind of sputters out or whatever. But it was an interesting story. Okay, so here's the open. So yeah, I guess that's all I can really say about it. Okay, so there's the open. I'm not seeing a strong read on the cumulative delta just off of the open. Um, Kind of makes me think that today might be a lackluster day, but let's see which side wins out here. Looks like buyers trying to make a little bit of a push. Yeah. So I have a little pivot up here at 66, 66 or so. That was from yesterday. No. It's from overnight. Still not reading significant cumulative delta changes. It's pretty quiet open. Okay, so they sold it down, and then there was a little bit more interest there in the 60 area. So that was a pretty decent sell. Okay. They're able to retrace some of that, but the buyers haven't really like made a counter move yet. Okay. Well, it could be the case that they're going to be a little quieter today because of the PMI. Sellers did make a little bit more of a push there. Okay. Well, there was an okay climb there in the delta. See if they're able to push out the other side. Okay. So I was noticing that they were moving around pretty easily for a bit, and now they're getting some more volume and building, and now moving to the top. That's I think that's a good sign. I'm not didn't we didn't really see stop orders there on that high though. There's still really want to get a. I mean, they broke the pivot, but they want to close above it and move through. Yeah, they could move through a couple of them here. Yeah, there we go. So there's 67. I'm gonna put this up here. So they are now in the thick of yesterday's volume profile. The top of the value area is around 72. Okay. A little bit of volume up here at the top. Okay, so there's a relatively big order right there, 2970. Now they did go up and grab him, but they didn't hold it yet. They don't quite look done yet, but we should stay frosty.
RJ Wheel says 73.75 overnight high target on S.
Okay. Treasuries tick down there.
RJ Wheel says 73 half actually.
Right. Right. I mean, I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna try, but there's definitely some profit taking right here. Okay. Question is, if we touch 70.25, will there be some stop orders? Yes, there are. I did not get filled. I think I should have been. Cool. Cool. I'm happy. I'm really happy with how we've been doing, guys. Of course, part of it is you just go long the E-mini. It just seems to always work out, man. Which is a little messed up. Okay, they're building another volume node here. So I think you might get your 73 RJ. They are building up like they're gonna go for it. Right. It's not always the case, but very often what you will see at the top of a profile is buyers hitting into the price and then exhausting, and there being a big imbalance between buyers and sellers at that spot because there just was only buyers hitting into it, and then it just fell back down. So you'll see like this 29.72 would never trade or something like that. But if they're trading a lot of contracts up there, then you're not getting that situation, right? So then there's a good chance they're going to keep continuing. Notice that it's a lot easier to see that in the E-mini than it is in the Treasury. Because in the Treasury, it's like they'll tick down, and then maybe a few contracts will go in there, and you think, well, they tick back, they might tick into it again. And then it'll come back really fast, and then you've missed your opportunity. But in the E-mini, it's kind of like
Bot says, do you have a
you can
trade
kind
on?
of tell over time. I took it from blah, 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 blah. You gotta look on the DOM. It'll show it on the DOM. Where did it go? Oh, that makes me mad. Did I close it? Did I close the window? Now I have to bring up a new one. And Oh, why is it showing me? That's from yesterday. That's weird. Hmm. Hold on a second. Hmm. Jigsaw's being a little weird about it. So it's not showing it correctly. Well, I'll show you. It's showing me yesterday's trades. They're only sim accounts, but let's make sure that get rid of that so that there's no let's see here. Hide this column. Hide this column. Hide this column. Okay. And this column. There. So I don't know what. So what were these ones?
RJ Wheel says hanging on.
This one says stop. But that was. Oh, maybe we need to do it. Hold on. Maybe it's because we need to do it like this. Aha. Okay, yes. One position that was taken. So we got it from 2960. But I'm still wondering with this. Oh, I see what this was. So I got in, and then these were my profit target and stop, and I canceled those. And then this was my exit. And this one, I don't know why it's showing this, because this just says order status placed. At 131.20. Well, wait, what? 131.21 half? There's not an order sitting down there, is there? No. 131. 215. What are you doing, Jigsaw? Wait, so if I come in the cancel and change. I can't cancel it. Oh. Oh. I think I know what causes that. That says from 2019, from October of 2019. So the journalytics must have gotten screwed up somehow. Like I put a trade on, and then I canceled it when Jigsaw wasn't opened, and so Jigsaw can't see that it's gone. That's funny. Okay. I had me a little panicked there for a second, like something's wrong, but no, we're good. We're all good. Let's see, where is the upside target, by the way? It is... 29.90. Yeah, it was asking me why didn't you hold until 29.90. So the upside target is 29.90. I didn't take it. Well, I explained it in Discord, but I took it off before that because yesterday's top side of the profile was around 71. I know that they're going to test that, but I don't know if they're going to break that and go to the volatility target. They could move down. And so I'm just seeing that as the upside test, and we could see that fail. Anyways, I probably was like way too much detail than what he cared about, but he was just wondering why didn't you hold for the target. I don't feel like that things are too different today. Like, I was just looking at the overnight stuff, European markets, they're concerned about this trade war stuff, but they're still not sure if it's even really a thing or if it's just Trump being Trump. So it makes sense that we should take it in that respect, that we're in a bracketed market with the high being around that 29.75 area where we've tested 2 times. Well, now 3 times. That was the third test. So we could still move up and bust through that, but we have to expect some resistance. And that's why it's like, I don't think that I should hold on for the full target. I think I may be just kind of justifying it afterwards. I don't know, because I just looked at it and I said I was using the volume for the target. They were very kind to me there. Okay. The treasuries came up a little bit there, didn't they? Yes, sir. And now the 10-year is bid. 5 years bid. The 30-year is still offered a little bit. That's not really a good setup because that means that the curve is
RJ
steepening
Wheels
again.
says, I should have tightened at 73 hit. Still won but gave back to the gods of Wall Street a tribute.
Aw. Oh, you're saying, did you not actually get hit at 73? Yeah, there's only 33 contracts in the micro and 131. Yeah, probably would have been really close. Man, this is one of those things though where it's like if you're just on the edge, it's like, how do you know? I have to say though, one thing that might have helped in that situation, RJ, was when I was looking at mine because I was at like what 71. Like I was looking for stops, right? And what happened was we got the stops, and then I wasn't filled. Well, on sim I wasn't filled. I think in real life I would have, but so because it did that and then it came back, like you always got to be thinking, okay, so that was a stop run. That means there's slightly less potential future buyers now. So, that doesn't mean that they have to reverse, but anytime there's a stop run, we're always thinking there could be a reversal, right? And then if they push through that, where you're not in the clear, right? It's not like, okay, there's a stop run, they came out, they're back above it. Now we're in the clear, it's just going to run and run and run. No. Like there's still going to be like you're still kind of on the wire, like I got to see more volume come in. I got to see that we've reached a new price, and because we've reached a new price, more people are interested in it. So I think what happened in that case was we got the stop run. They were able to push through it just by chance that time, and then on the push after that, that's when they exhausted. But mostly I would say bad luck. Bad luck, I guess. Okay, so they did push below the open, but already kind of. Oh, they went all the way down there. Oh no, they did not. Not this time around. This time around they went to 6150. We should clean the current trades down so that we have a better idea of where it went. Okay, so they came back above the open, and now they're kind of going through that. They fill in the profile in there again. Check Twitter to see if there's anything. Oh, by the way, we did have the PMIs, and we totally forgot about that. That was about when we got out, actually. Actually, did I get out before it? I did. Hey, good job, Seth. I think that was mostly luck. That could have been bad. Let's see. Our market services PMI was 36.9 versus an expected 30. Composite PMI was 36.4 versus a previous reading of 27. Market manufacturing PMI is 39.8 versus a previous reading of 36. So they are improving. I think that's a number where 50 is even. Okay, here's existing home sales now. Negative 17.8
RJ Wheel
versus
says, I figured
18.9.
stop collection and pull back to 70, then go hit and maybe jam through the high.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just got on. I mean, they did do that. That just wasn't quite enough volume to get you, huh? So again, negative 17.8 versus an expected negative 18.9. So a little better than expected. Existing home sales 4.33 million versus an expected 4.3 million. So
RJ
I'd say
Wheels
those
says
mostly in
64
line.
big number. They decided to go retest that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a good point. They stopped like literally right there. I mean, the overnight volume is at 63, right? But you getting this fractal thing going on here. You know, I think that they certainly could have enough oomph to go up for new high. I think that because I've made my $50 that I'm happy with it and that I don't really need to put more risk on the table since I don't really know. Like the whole thing is like we're looking for what's the sentiment, which way are they going to trade? I'm trying to value it. Has anything changed in the last 15 minutes to change my perspective on value? No. So for me, whether or not they break yesterday's high is very uncertain. And they could turn down and test. I thought it was pretty good chance that they were going to test it, but I don't know if they're going to make it through it. So, man, Nancy Pelosi is really trying to hit Donald Trump on the hydrochloroquine thing, but like he's going to not die, and I don't think that that helps Democrats to be focusing on it. And once again, seems like she's making an unforced error. Evening Standard. The Ransquack says this is the story of the day. Peru town mayor lies in coffin and plays dead after police catch him flouting lockdown to drink with friends. It sounds like the coronavirus has been hitting South America like quite nasty. Like in Brazil in particular, it's getting pretty bad. I don't know why the news isn't reporting on that more, but whatever. Okay, back into that open profile. I don't know. Well, they're filling it in really good. What's this going on here? The third session of the 13th NPC will address draft decision of the National People's Congress on the establishment and improvement of the legal system and implementation mechanism for the safeguarding of national security in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. A senior expert close to the government on Hong Kong affairs said this move demonstrates firm determination of the central government in safeguarding sovereignty over the city, and it delivers a clear message to the world China will safeguard its core interests at all costs. In other words, China is what is the word? Locking
Bot says so
down.
much for the "it will go away when the weather warms up" concept from your prey.
Well, I think that I don't know why that means that. I mean, if you believed that that meant that it will just completely kill it out and it won't be an issue from the warm weather, that's probably not true. Now, I don't know what the weather is like in the southern hemisphere right now. It's kind of switching right now, isn't it? Aren't they getting colder over there? I think it's probably still pretty warm in Brazil. No. But I also it also does seem pretty clear that the virus doesn't do as well in warm weather. I honestly I think, because they've been saying that Florida did so much better than New York, even though some of their metrics are comparable, not nearly as many people died. And so some people have been hailing the governor in Florida as having done a really good job. Well, I think Kumo made a couple of mistakes, so maybe that's part of it. But I think that Florida mostly lucked out because it's warm there. And they got away with a couple of bad decisions because the rate of transmission there just isn't as strong. If that's true, it's going to be more northern states that are going to have problems, right? Even in the winter, it'll be way worse in cold areas than it will be in Florida. but I don't know what the weather is like in South America. I think that the problem is larger than that. Like especially in South America, they just don't have the infrastructure, right? So it's going to be bad, and people aren't really aren't gonna listen. Like I don't think that the social distancing thing is not going to work as well down there. You know. Mm-mm-mm. Now, on the other hand, I guess kind of have to look at what the transmission rates are because we don't really have enough data to know what it's looking like. But on the earlier one, so basically, it sounds to me like China is basically building up military in that region to make sure that Hong Kong doesn't leave China. That's what that is. That is that we're making absolute certain that Hong Kong is never able to become independent. I think that's a good news. I'm thinking about we should do like a news recap at the end of the day. Like we could do a live stream. You guys will still be there, but it would be a little bit different because I would be more trying to get through everything, and then maybe at the end we can look at what your comments are on any individual story. But mostly the focus of that would be to um, to just get as much information in as possible. So it would require a lot of preparation on my part. But I think if we did that, have a really focused video, that would help the channel out a lot to have more focused videos. And I think it would help the community out because we could all become a little bit more business and news savvy. And I really think that the moment that's where we're going to improve. Feds Williams says our economic future will be shaped by path of virus. McConnell on Senate floor calls the House its absentee neighbors across the rotunda. He says the House is on paid leave and he's wondering if senators should go collect their newspaper and water the plants. Because the Senate is in session and the House is not, apparently. Okay, they did push a little bit lower there. Still not below 29.59 for a new low of the session, but it is coming in. There is some bearishness coming in here. I don't think I don't have any kind of thing to tell me that what it's going to break one side or the other. I think that I would have to lean towards the base case of it being that we still move up and move higher, but I'm not going to take that trade again because the problem, I only wanted the test that already did it, so not long again. So it could turn down, but I don't see a reason that it has to, right? If it does, I'd say it's just random. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on that I don't know about, of course, but I'm just trying to, there's this thing where like we make decisions and then we try and justify afterwards. Like we've shown that that's really the way that we work, and we aren't always necessarily aware of why we make the decisions that we do. So when I took that first trade, I went and I said, okay, where are we going to go to? And I looked at the top of the profile, and I was like, well, that's where I think, we could revisit yesterday's price. And I don't know about beyond that. And so I took it. But then after I took it, and you guys asked me about it, I had this big, long thing. And I'm kind of sitting here wondering to myself, well, I think that is why I took it. But is it really? Or was it just kind of luck of the draw? That I just happened to make that decision, and maybe it was just a random decision, maybe there was no reason for it. I feel like this is kind of weird because normally at 8:00 I'm like, oh, we've only just got here. We still got a whole day ahead of us, and I want to keep trading and trading and trading. But now I'm like, I got my thing and I'm done. And this has been a long session, and we're happy with it. What's with that? Anyways, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Would you tune in for a... Kumo and the goofy New York City mayor made mistakes. They absolutely did. And Buzz is saying, are you saying it's not warm in Brazil? I don't know. Well, we could find that out. Let's look into this a little bit more, John. Let's look into this a little bit more. Weather, Brazil. 72. Oh, so it actually is not, it's not hot. It's not hot in Brazil. But is the number of cases that they're seeing right now really all that unusual? Let's look at that. Brazil. Changes today, 144. Okay, so you know what, John? I think that it's still in line. I think that it's hit Brazil. They're having cases. It looks like the number of people that are catching it is about in line with what it's been in other places. It hasn't turned into like a huge disaster yet. It's nice weather out there, but it's not super hot. At least this week in Rio de Janeiro, it's fair. So, we could. I think that you'll see an outbreak that would be about average. No reason to think that the weather there right now is really going to kill it. But you will see. Like one of the things that I thought was interesting was like Australia and New Zealand in particular, like were really able to sidestep it. But it gets cold down there not cold, but it gets colder in what's the summer for us. So I'm sure that you probably will see those countries that initially kind of were able to skip it start to see more trouble.
JB says not trading, especially when I meet my daily quota, is an ongoing battle for me, but I view it as growth in trading, as I am not giving back profits, which I would do in the past.
Yeah, well, I think that part of the thing for me is that I used to come in and take it from a perspective of like, what is the risk and probability of things going on and what setups am I seeing? And so I was willing to take setups on sim or, throwaway setups if there was still opportunity there. And now my approach has changed back to, well, not even back to, like I've always kind of been the type to look at fundamentals, but now I'm trying to take the perspective of like, that's really what I want to do. So I don't want to look at I technical analysis stuff so much. I think I gave it way more heat than I ever really believed in it. And I've tried a lot of different things, and I've shown some things that shows me that you can have some success with it, but it's just not the kind of performance that I want. And we've been doing this. This I feel so much better about. Just from like the perspective of like, okay, I'm not taking any stupid trades. I'm not over trading. I just come in and I say, is there a reason for this to move and where will it move to? And I take the trade and then it goes there and then it's off. And I'm like 3 for 3. You know what I mean? Kenny Rogers comes to mind. I don't know what song that refers to. You have to help me out. Kenny Rogers was before my time. The Gambler. Yeah, I gotcha. Man, we're going to test this out over the summer. And we're going to work. I think it's going to take a lot of work, probably even more work than what we've been doing, because I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, okay, so like, and I really, you guys haven't commented on it yet, but I would really like to know what you guys think about adding a daily recap, because I'm thinking of it from like, okay, I need to really be in the know. So I'm always reading Twitter stories and I read stuff on CNBC, but now I really need to be like, okay, what are all of the major things that happened overnight and what are the potential impacts that it can have on the markets this morning, and how do I think that changes the sentiment, and does it give me a reason to believe that the markets are going to move in a certain direction? So I really got to know everything. And then if I'm going to do a market recap, like I'm going to have to take notes and have all the stories ready so that I can just like straight out read stuff to you quickly and pack a lot of information into a short amount of time. So it's going to be a lot of work. And the technical analysis was a lot of work, but it was kind of like, okay, if I have an idea and I'll go and I'll program it, I'm going to continue to do that stuff. I love making indicators for you guys, but what I'm looking at now is like, we're adding another hour or two's worth of work to us a day. And I'm thinking if we do a market recap, I would do it like a 30-minute thing starting at 4:30. So it would be like 30 minutes and then I'd be done and I would go and work out. JB says this is where style and comfort come in. I do technicals on a chart and scalp. That might not work for you. I also find it harder to do that on treasuries. Yeah. But you know what, JB, that's another weird thing, is because I was totally okay for a long time, feeling like watching the DOM was my main thing and just kind of keeping an idea on the newswire to help me interpret what I'm seeing. Instead, now I'm taking it from the perspective of I listen to the newswire, I make my own valuation, and I'm only using the DOM to help me execute it well, to know what the market state is to make a good execution. So it's kind of looking at the same things, but I in my mind that's different. But the main reason why I feel like I want to go that direction is not because of the treasuries, but because of the E-mini. I feel like there's so much noise in the E-mini that the kinds of things that we're trying to do in technical analysis don't work very well. What was it? Rich, who, by the way, so we got Rich in chat now. RJ Whale says, yikes. We're getting a little bit of back and forth here in the E-mini. That's getting pretty messy. So we got this guy Rich in Discord, and Rich has been around for a while, but he's kind of more of a long-term trader. But I felt like, he's been saying he's always kind of said good stuff, and I suspected that he was doing pretty good. And then there was kind of a little bit of drama the other day, and where somebody was accusing somebody of trading fake and stuff. So there's another member of the chat that honestly doesn't really hang out in our Discord all that much anymore, but he's got these people that are just like obsessed with him and always accusing him of something. And there was a time back when he was like trolling another Discord before he ever came to our Discord, and so they accuse him of that and say that he's still doing that when he's not. And anyways, long story short, we caught his shill yesterday and it was hilarious. But anyways, Rich kind of got caught up in that, and so I thought he was going to give us he was posting like a live trade and it wasn't, he was joking. But then I started giving him shit. So he sent me a statement. He showed me like the trades he made for the day and then the day's statement. And I have to tell you guys, I was super, he didn't show me like months of statements. Okay. So it wasn't like, oh, I can confirm that he's profitable on the year or anything like that. But he had a couple of trades. He's trading all futures, but he's trading all different futures and longer term positions. And the amount that he makes on those longer term commissions or positions is just like, wow. Like, wow, you take one contract and you make like $10,000 sort of a thing. I was like, it was really cool to look at. And it just, it made me really happy. Just, anytime that we see that we've attracted a good trader and they trust us, and we can look at what they're doing and stuff. So why were we going into that? Oh, he was saying that, like an index. He was saying this in the VIX. Where was he saying it? He was saying that an index just isn't really the greatest thing to trade because you kind of get, yes, as a composite index, those are very poor to trade. Downward volatility is skewed compared to upward volatility, which means that if you're trying to go short, you'll almost always get stopped out prematurely. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of my experience in the E-mini, is that like whatever it is that you want to set your stop for a scalp, they're going to hit it a good percentage of the time. Whereas with what I've been doing, if I know where I want it to go and I time it right, it's an easy trade. Anyways, that was a long thing I probably got off.
JB says, so if I have a code question, I should go to Discord? I want an indicator that places a down arrow just above the high of the 930 bar.
Just above the high of the 930. That would be pretty easy. We could help you do that in NinjaTrader. Just go and, because I want to get more activity going on in the programming channel. So you'll go and post it in there, and I'll try and make that today. This should be pretty easy, or help you make it. So we're talking about doing a daily recap. So if we do a daily recap, let's see here. What time? Because I'm thinking 6:30 Eastern time. Thinking 6:30 Eastern time. Try and keep it to 15 minutes, and then get ready and go work out. I think that I should be able to do that. And then I'm only using driving time. On NinjaTrader, I'm having an issue getting so then actually post the script in there. That would then we can really go into what's wrong with it. So I saw here in analytics there was this thing that shows like, when are your viewers online? Where was it? I think it was under engagement. No audience. When your viewers are on YouTube, your local time. Okay. So on a Monday, Wednesday, 3, for many of your viewers, 5, many of your viewers, and then after 6, that's kind of dies down. Most of them are at 2 o'clock. Seems like at 2 o'clock, and then kind of in the morning at 9 a.m. is when you guys are on. It's interesting that it's actually slightly more viewers after the stream ends, but that's probably just from people coming in and seeing the replay at that point. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 4:30, and I would try and do like a really quick rundown of what the moves were and news that was driving the market. They're going to go for that high? I mean, that was a pretty good upturn right there. They look excited again. The treasuries aren't really moving off of it, though. Uber gloomy comments from New York Fed President Williams says U.S. unemployment rate is likely to get worse before it gets better. Data doesn't capture the full extent of the financial devastation faced by millions of American families. We're going to save that one. So this is going to be hard. I'm going to try and do it today. You guys come back at 4:30. I'm going to schedule. Here, hold on. We're going to do this. It's going to be hard to track all this stuff. Maybe I should do it in Evernote. Evernote. If you need notes, try Evernote. make a new notebook for it. Recap. Okay. There we go. So let's save that one.
Luis Alarid says the Dow on fire.
That last little move was pretty good, but I'm a little hesitant to. Well, I'm not. I'm done. We're done. Can be so happy to say that we made $50 and we're done. But something that happens is you get a move like that, and then everybody gets excited. Like the market definitely got excited by that move, didn't it? Like a lot of people went, okay, maybe I want to go long now, which kind of makes me think that they'll screw around with it a little bit first before they go up to a new high, if they actually do. And we are still in the counter trend period. Let's remember. So let's see here. Since 8:15, we were kind of maybe going down. Yeah, that's really hard to know what the counter trend period is going to bring. They could still spike it down here. So let's be careful. We should be careful. So what else do we got? I want also to include this story about China from the Global Times.
Luis Alarid says, is the nation back in business?
Well, it seems to me like it is. Or at least we're on that path. The concern that I have is that I don't think that it's just a matter of getting back to business. I think that there's so much economic devastation that's happened that it's going to take us a really long time to really, gear back up. I think that we're inevitably overvalued. There's not a reason to trade that on a day-to-day time frame, that belief, but I think that overall we're probably overvalued. So at some point we might have a little bit of a downturn, and that might cause some pressure on certain industries, and then we'll really see the pain that has to happen. You can't have zombie companies running around and all that. Could be wrong, could be wrong. IOC chief says Tokyo Olympics would be scrapped if not. Man, my nose really itches. Hate it when you get something like that. You're streaming, oh, I want to scratch it. Let's not do anything gross. I can't just wash my hands. Itch it. Oh my gosh. AT&T is selling new bonds, taking advantage of a global rally in credit to refinance outstanding debt. See? So these are the sorts of things that we really want to know about in the treasuries. Okay, so they had that good up move, and what did I say? I was like, so that one, that might catch people on that one if they turn back down. And what did they do? They turned back down, and there's all these people bailing on it now. So you know what? So here's another thing, is that with my change in approach, I am very much interested in the open more than anything else. Like this 8:30 thing right now, it's a different it's a totally different situation. And I think that a lot of people make their moves at 7:30. Now, what might be happening here though? Are they going to break it? Almost certainly going to break it there. Yeah, there they go. I think that what can happen here is there might have been some guys that really were expecting a new high and they're not getting it. And so now the guys that did go long on the open are kind of upset and are puking. That might be what's going on. That's an ugly move, guys. Hope you are not in that. Well, now that they've broken that, well, let's come back and look at our volume profile, shall we? I think that's where we need to look. So we can see in the overnight session, there was 29.51.75. So let's see if they can make it there. I'm not, because I don't see a reason for it to be breaking, and this break doesn't change my view on anything. I'm not in the end, because we hit a good target. I think we hold off here. But 29.51, 29.50 or so. Actually, 29.50 looks better because like there's like this double profile here. So let's say the 29.50.48 area. So that's there, and then if they really want to go, we could go 34. And where is our downside target? It is 37. Okay, so that looks like
Bot
a good
says
area.
50% VIX range target at 2,942.43.
Oh, you got it at 42. Oh, that's your 50. What's your 100? We should probably, I mean, our numbers are kind of like getting a little jumbled up now. I think is the one that's on trading views, the market seems to react to it, but I think the one that John is giving you is probably safer, better.
JB
targets.
says, what is the sideways bars you have on the chart?
The sideways bars, this volume.
Bot says 100% 2,920.61.
Nah, the 20 is 29.20 is well, I mean, it could happen, but that would be like a real downtrend day. So I think if I was going short, that I would be more interested in the 42. Yeah, so 42, and then the further downside target would have to be this volume node here at 35. 42.35.
JB says volume at price. Interesting.
Yeah. So the reason I'm looking at that spot is because there was this node down in here. So I'm just kind of looking at it as like, okay, if something has changed in sentiment, and I don't know if it has, that's why I'm not taking it. But if something has changed in sentiment, so that's why we're just going to kind of game it out and say, okay, where do we want it to go to so that we can get better at trying to price it, right? Then one of the things that we should consider in trying to value that is prices that have been significant in the past. So from yesterday, the best that you have there is that 34. And from today, it's this 45 area. But because our VIX target tells us 42, that is probably where you want to take it to. So we could even right now, but I think let's do like the better one. Let's say that like you went on the break. So short 29.60. Oh, I got in at 29.60. How did I get such a good price? Damn, I did good. I'm so proud of myself today. I should not get cocky. Okay, 29. So let's say you go short 29.60, then your target's 29.42. So, so that's 18. So then on the upside, 69. Okay, so 69 is below that pivot high. I think at this point you could take it because it just careened down there so much. Oh yeah, at 60, I think that it's a safe. I think it's a safe one. So let's say stop at 29.69 and short at 29.60, and your target's going to be 29.42. Yeah, well, and let's track that. Okay, so there is a decent amount of volume trading there. So let's come back to our volume profile chart and just look here at their most recent chart here. That's the 10-year. 10 years is pretty messy right now. Okay, here we go. They're already trading 2000s. Oh, and there was 16,000 at 68. Huh. But I think that most of that traded before we did this whole thing. The trend down is really, really strong too. Like, look at the moving averages, how far apart they are. They're almost 5 points difference between where the volume is trading at and where the 1 minute bar moving average has us at. So this could do some funky stuff, right? Like we could have like a really deep pullback and then severe turn back down. It'd be hard to trade unless you got the 60. Who knows? They come back up to 60. And then you're going to be like, oh, I should have taken the profit. No, I don't think we should think of those sorts of things. I think that we would go then, if we knew something was causing this to happen, then let's raise it. Let's see where they go. This is an interesting setup we got going here. Okay, so he just spiked it down there. I think I need to change my filter here. So I'm showing 20s, and I think we need to maybe 50s. We shouldn't see them that often. There you go. 50 is good, I think. They're the clicks, so they're definitely working the buck. Okay, outside bar, they're down for new low. Man, they just decided to take it, huh? Okay, so I am reading something. Beijing threatens U.S. with countermeasures if sanctions are imposed. Okay, so we were slow on that one, but there was a reason for it. So let's think. Can we take a late trade? I don't know if 50 is a good spot. Well, we can kind of sit back and see if they give us another pullback. Because if we're looking for 42, then we're already 8 ticks away from that. So, if we're going to hold it on the other side, yeah, could they come back to 29.58? Absolutely. So I think we need a better entry to take that one.
Bot says prior week's high was 2,947.00.
Okay. That was prior week's high? Ooh, I see. I guess the thing is that if we catch our target, and I really do think that that's probably where we should put our target in, though. But we should probably be aware and see how it reacts to the breaking that, because that could trigger some other people. Because you are starting to hit it into levels where it ends up being significant to people.
RJ Wheel says 60 is VWAP.
Okay. Yeah, if they came back to 60, I'd definitely hit it. I'll let them go through it a little bit, but then I would definitely sell in it if they came back that far. I don't think that the chances, if this really is Beijing trade war heating up, if that's really what this is, then yeah, easy sell, right? But really, we got like right here at 53 might be your best. I mean, they're trading a little bit there, so if they're happy trading there, then why would we get much higher than that, right? When first Squawk tweeted that Beijing threatens U.S. with countermeasures if sanctions are imposed.
Luis Alarid says markets retreated.
Yeah, they're retreating.
Bot says initial pivot low on both 5 and 1 minute charts is 2,959.00.
The first reply to it was, "We all know how this ends. All-time highs." Right? That's how it's been going. That's how it's been going. Okay, where's our notes? I'm surprised that the word sanctions are even coming out of officials' mouths right now. Like, really? Ugh. Okay, there was a pivot high right here at 56.50. So they're touching it. They might pull back more than that. Okay. Okay. Sven Henrik. Also, it's just recommending this tweet to me, but it says the Fed is not saving the economy; it's ruining its long-term growth prospects by zombifying companies and letting failing and highly levered business models drag on with no prospect of these ever turning a profit. It's a drag on innovation and reckless capital misallocation. Well, this comment really speaks to me, because I really feel that the key thing is to improve GDP growth by creating innovation. And if what the Fed is doing is going to reduce innovation, then it's a real problem, isn't it? The Global Times. China never starts trouble and never flinches when trouble comes its way. China will firmly defend its interests if the U.S. does something that undermines China's core interests, says NBC's spokesperson. And they've got this picture of this propaganda picture that's kind of weird. Oh, look, China is water and the U.S. is fire. Water will put out fire, if you say so, China. So China is definitely mobilizing the propaganda over it. Okay, well, how do we feel about 55? Not sure. No, it's not. It's not the right setup yet. Yeah. Okay. So this is exactly what we want to avoid. That kind of back and forth at 54. Risk trades slip as China worries get a wider airing. Tweets Forex Live. That's definitely what's going on. President Trump has posted a letter to Congress regarding approach to China.
Leandro Matias says hello Seth, could Yopu quickly explain what are those blue and red balls right on the middle bottom chart?
Oh, middle bottom chart. Yeah, so that it's kind of half blue and half red. So those are icebergs in the indexes in the S&P 500. So what it's saying, and you can see it down here in the chart. Do you see how in our let me annotate some things here. Okay, so you're talking about these, right? We'll look on our DOM. You see how down here it was big numbers traded at every price when it was trading around here. And if you were looking at the time, you would see that they traded there for quite some time.
Leandro Matias says yes.
And you can see that here at 53, there was a decent amount. And here in this area, there was a couple few thousand that traded through there. If we come back over to the volume profile, where'd you go, my friend? Come down here to the volume profile, about 8,000 through this area. But right here, you can kind of see the imbalance, 33.89 sold. So basically what happened was the markets held there as people came in and bought on the bid. Passive buyers holding price. So the bubble is iceberg orders absorbing. And well, you know, it caused it to reverse. That doesn't always happen, but it's definitely something in when you're watching the E-mini that you can watch for. I didn't really notice it at it drew the bubble at the time, but I could see when it was down there at the low that like the risk reward didn't really make sense for me, and the the volume wasn't quite what I wanted to see. So now I'm seeing, yeah.
Leandro Matias says thank you. It's like a reversal indicator then.
It can be. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to give you more context, as much context about it as I can, because it's not necessarily a reversal indicator. For instance, on a trend day, what you're going to see is areas like that where people are taking profits, and then it will just blast right through them over and over and over again. And so if you just take that as a straight, like, you know, so you got to read it in context, like that move right there. Maybe that was people taking profits. I don't know. But yeah. So you got to be careful about it. The analysis has to be more complicated than just it's a reversal signal. Make sense? Okay. Well, when I'm looking at this range, I could have gotten a little bit better of a price. I'm not so sure
Leandro
that
Matias
it
says
really
makes
concerns me,
sense.
but
Thanks.
not so sure if that little move right there really concerns me too much. But okay, I'm getting some other people warning about the stuff. Earlier this month, SCMP, citing a Chinese government advisor, said the two sessions will not have much of a direct bearing on the trade deal, but the language used will hint at Beijing's future approaches in dealing with Washington. Interesting that the opening of the CPPCC plus the PBSC, Wang Oshan, vice chairs do not all wear masks, but everyone else there does. So this is the Chinese Congress, essentially, right? Okay, they're still doing the range thing. Yeah. And getting the lean right there makes me a little uncomfortable. They're trying to push it there. Okay, this time no lean, but not as much volume either. Treasuries are definitely up. Oh man, they like really went up, in fact. Did not even notice. Hmm.
Air Cages says, did you guys get spammed by Futures IO?
No, what, did they send you a ton of email today or something? And an outside bar there again. I find trading forums really frustrating because it never feels like people want
Junior
to talk
says,
about the
yep,
things I
me
want
too.
to.
Air Cages says, I received like 30 emails of the same thing.
Every once in a while you get a good thread, but a lot of the time it just doesn't seem like the stuff that really interests me. I don't know how to explain it. Part of it is you don't ever see like heavy discussion of volume. Okay. Feels a little tense to me right now. Who's coming back? Hmm. 56. 56 is kind of a line here, and then they dip below it. Okay.
Air Cages says, apparently Big Mike really wants me to download this relative volume indicator. Download it like 30 times.
You know what was weird about that one is that it's an indicator that we made like that Jigsaw had posted around a long time ago. I'm like, it's not a new thing. I haven't tried his. I don't know if it's any different or better, but it's not like a unique thing. It seemed like people liked it though, so kudos to them. Hey, that's nice. Ooh, that they gonna touch that low so easily? Oh, oh man. So there's a bunch of little what do we call them? Pivots here for them to blow through. Yeah. Oof.
Air Cages says woo nice drop. Air Cages says why did you enter that trade? RJ Wheel says I feel left out.
Because China is being stupid. Because China are being doo-doo heads. It's not, I need to be, listen, if we're gonna be doing the news, we gotta be neutral. No, I shouldn't be. No, you know what? How should we do this? Nah, you know what? My opinion is important. It's part of the flavor. It's part of what makes my analysis useful, I think. So, but I need to not. But I need to be smart about it. I need to be like, okay, China's not being doo-doo heads. Okay. It appears to me that China is ramping up rhetoric against the United States and that the possibility of another round of trade war is increasing. The market appears to be catching on to this news and pricing it in, and so that's why we took the trade. Well, that was a good downturn and a lower low, but they're getting pretty deep pullbacks. It's okay. We can relax. I need to relax. I think I feel just a little bit nervous. Like I really want this one to work out, but we're doing good so far. I like the way that new low was made. Just happens like, normally they kind of come down, they hover a little bit. Can we do it? Can we? Oh, but no, this one they just went right for it. They went right for it. We're not to the overnight high. That's probably why they're not like super panicking yet. But you know what? This market probably can drop really quickly because everybody's been they're just looking for a reason to sell it. They're just looking for the reason. Okay. See, this is more like how you approach a new low, right? Maybe we'll do it. We're building a little volume here. Maybe we'll do it. We're going to tick back. Reloading. Okay, now we're going to break it. We're just kind of breaking it. No stops yet. Pulling back. Okay, now doing it again. Want to see some stops. This kind of looks to me like that trade where like, when I'm trying to scalp and everything and I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know how low they can go. I don't know how fast it'll be. And then it goes down and it goes down and it goes down and you're like, why didn't I do it? Why? And then eventually you chase it. That's this thing right here, man. Like you chase it and then it comes back vortex on you. Oops. We didn't get the stops yet, though. There could be more pain. I guess it depends on how short they are. I can't really tell overall for this session. I think we are negative on the session for sure. Like we started at 17. We can come over to this chart. Okay, so on this hour, we're down 6,000 contracts. They're still not. I mean, they're moving. There's some volume coming through there, but they're still not just like, whoops, like the panic sort of a thing. This is like a FOMO win move. Okay, so a little slower there at 43. So Leandro, I don't know if you're still there, but if you're looking at the chart now, you see right there, that's kind of what was warning you about, right? You'll sometimes you get into a spot where you'll see some absorption like that, and they just blow right through it because it's trending. The thing that you got to remember in the E-mini with the volume, and this is the thing that makes order flow in ES so hard, is like there's a lot of speculation in the E-mini. There's no question about that. This thing is like crack for traders, okay? But there's also a lot of hedging. And when you see those icebergs, a lot of that is hedging. So if I see buying down at the bottom there, that is not necessarily a big deal. It could just be a hedger buying, and it is something that for us doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's coming close. They're still kind of trading around there, though. I think they traded enough there at 42. Come on, come to daddy. Daddy needs a new News Squawk subscription service. Come on. Okay. So they are building up volume here. Pulling back. That was a pretty sick downturn. I can just take it off. Let's just do it right here. I wanted 42, but I'm realizing, oh, there you go. Should have held it. I wanted 42, but I was just realizing, like, I was giving myself, you know, 5 points of risk. So, like, if I take 10 on that, it's fine. So that's what I did. We're good. I still think they're going to trade 42. Do you think they're going to go down more? Because honestly, with the force of that move, they break the lows, and then, hey, you know what? That other downside target at 29.20 is not unreasonable. Is it 29.20? Well, John was saying 29.20. I'm getting, 29.11. I think we should go with 29.20. 29.20 is not out of the question. I don't know, dude. Since I've kind of changed my mindset here, it's just win win win. They're probably going to come in and humble me at some point, but so far, really happy with how this is going. I feel like I'm doing good, and I'm getting results too, you know? And my mind is like churning again. Oh, you know what? You guys are probably saying stuff and I don't see it. Ready to short for 29.20. Very nice, says Lewis. Yeah. What's your secret, Seth? You found something? I know it. There's no secret. The secret is there's no secret. It's like the Kung Fu Panda movie. It's the Kung Fu Panda movie. Listen here. Yeah, which one is it? There's been like 3 of those, hasn't there? Kung Fu Panda series sequels 2. Oh, there's a 3rd one has been announced, but it hasn't happened. Let's see here. Because isn't the whole thing in that movie that there is no secret? I don't even remember now. Don't feed me that BS, Seth. Tell me the secret. Yeah. Listen, I tell you, you want to know the secret, go and watch Kung Fu Panda 2. That's what we're doing tonight. I'm going to go watch that movie. But no, Air Cages, actually there is a secret. No, it's not a secret, but it's not a secret. I just look at the news and I decide what the market is going to do based off of that, and I take it. And that's it. That was it. So I'm quite surprised myself that it's been working out so well. I think that we've just kind of been lucky that we've come into an area where there's a lot of news and change in sentiment for us to trade off of, maybe part of it. But I tell you what, it sure is great to be taking those, 10 lot trades, 10 point trades, and just getting them over and over again. I just feel so like confident, and I know that like when it's like so much so that I sit there in my head and I say, well, that is feeling is one that'll get you in trouble. You know what I mean? Okay, so what do you guys think about we do another stream today, huh? Let's see. Can I come in here and um yes, right here. I hope that's a live account save. Nah, I didn't do it on a live account. I really am not going to trade the live account until September. Even though we're doing really well, I know that the summer can be difficult. So, and not only that, but we're using a new approach. We should, get used to it a little bit. Oh, I think I have to close this stream in order to schedule a new one. So I tell you what, I will schedule it right after this. You guys will see it. We'll do a market recap. We'll do a market recap today at 6:30 Eastern time. We will go over the major news events of the day, the politics, maybe look at some of our trades, but generally we're trying to look at it in the context of here's the news and how it may have affected the markets today. Now it's 42. We could have held on. Look, they just go right through it though. I don't know, guys. Lots of things to think about. I could keep blabbing, but I think I'm just gonna leave you guys here. I will see you tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay profitable.